Hi, it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
So in this final video, we're going to go through and I want us to come up with as many possibilities and ways to figure out solutions for your financial dilemma that you're in. It's not really a dilemma, but you know. And then after we figure out all of those, we'll go through them, we'll see what will work best for you,
Okay.
and then we'll help develop a plan so where you can kind of get out of your debt and avoid any problems that you may have in the future.
Okay, sounds good.
So, in recent videos, you have said that you've wanted to get your spending kind of in order.
Mm-hmm.
You want your debt to go down, and you want to definitely put some money in your savings account.
Yep.
Okay, so let's brainstorm some ways to, let's say first, eliminate the debt that you have. So let's talk about the debt that you do have, just which ones.
Okay. So probably I have one credit card. I have a truck payment, and then student loan debt that will come into play, like a year from now.
Okay. And then how do you think that we can eliminate your credit card debt?
Probably the easiest way to do that one is just to set aside a set amount of money, like above the minimum, that will pay it off within a few months' time, I guess would be ideal.
Okay. The above minimum payment is going to be key. If you just do the minimum amount,
Mm-hmm.
it will end up taking you a long time
Yep.
to get rid of that. Okay, let's do your truck payment. What are ways that we can kind of, I guess they're kind of the same as your credit
Mm-hmm.
card, setting aside a certain amount of money.
The only thing with the truck payment is that it's obviously a much longer term finance
Yes.
option. So it's going to be more than just a couple months to pay that off. But I think it'd be pretty much similar, just always pay a little bit more,
Yeah.
maybe tackle that one after the credit card's gone, so that the money I was putting towards the credit card can be put towards the truck.
Perfect. So we'll kind of go with minimum debt being erased first.
Yep.
To put that debt towards your more heavy debts.
Okay.
And then for your student loans, is there anything off the top of your head that you could think of to lower that fast, or?
Not that I can think of. Maybe in the time between now and when my student loans come into play, you can work on the truck, and that way, and then save some money also, and then during that time we can put money away that when the student loans come time to pay, we can pay with that money that's been put aside.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Just say, okay, I'm going to start paying my student loans off now.
Mm-hmm.
And just putting it into your savings account and kind of remembering how much that is.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you first get your student loans, you can be like, look, this big chunk amount I had for it,
Yep.
and just put it towards it. So speaking of your student loans, do you have deferments on your loans right now because you are active duty military?
Not at the moment because I'm full-time student. So they're not deferred. My other ones, my undergraduate loans are being paid off from my enlistment, like as we speak. So, and then all the other ones I'm either paying on or they're current, like right now. So.
Okay, so you do not have any deferments.
No.
Perfect. So really, for your debt, it's basically just setting up that amount needed for it and paying extra.
Yep.
Okay, so going into that, we need to figure out ways for you to save money.
Okay.
Ways that we can reduce your spending and get optimal savings. So what are ways you think in your life that you could save money?
Maybe avoid going, like, stopping and getting small treats here and there at gas stations and stuff like that, because it kind of tends to add up throughout the week.
Definitely.
Obviously, don't eat out as much.
Is there any way that you can reduce the bills that you already have?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, mostly because there are, like cable and internet, things like that we can't really lower unless we want to cancel them, and the things that we need. So, can't really think of anything off the top of my head how we lower bills I have right now. So.
Okay, so there are a couple ways that you can actually lower your utility bills.
Okay.
I know that there are ways.
Mm-hmm.
You might be at the lowest you can possibly go, but it's always beneficial to call them and ask them. We'll go through that when we go through your budget and how to implement your plan. That goes the same with your phone bill as well.
Yep.
All these little things you can maybe get a couple dollars off.
Okay.
Especially with you in the active duty military, people will go for that and say, hey, well, we'll give you a few dollars off.
Okay.
And that will help you lower your little spending here and there.
Okay.
Is there anything else that can be brought down or?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I don't drive a whole lot during the week, so gas is probably going to stay the same. And we don't have any expensive hobbies that just require gas, so that's about it.
All right. So that's basically things that we need to change for you to get to where you want to go with adding a little bit more to your savings and doing stuff like that. So I guess we'll start by coming up with a budget for you.
Okay.
Setting amounts that you need for each thing, and then kind of sticking to them. So, either what's best for you, if you have it on your phone that you can constantly type things into it, or a piece of paper that you write on your refrigerator. It just, whatever is more beneficial to you.
Okay.
So we will start with, let's start with your rent. So right now, are you renting?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's $9.95 for rent.
All right. And that's another part where you can kind of cut back on as well. Are you guys comfortable in your apartment, or is it too big for you, too small for you?
In the future, we have a year lease, so we can't get out of it now, but in the future, we probably definitely don't need as much space as we have right now until we actually get a house. So.
Okay. So wherever you may be going next, you can kind of not get as big of a place and save a little bit of money. Perfect. And then what's your next biggest payment?
Truck.
Your truck payment.
That's $430, I believe.
Perfect. And that one, we would like to actually grow a little bit. So once we got all the rest of your budget down, we can kind of go back to that and say, hey, I have this much that I can put towards it.
Okay.
And then what would be your next?
Next one after that will probably be sort of the random bills. So cell phone, cable, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, I have a little budget keeper right here. Maybe we can go through that and that'll help us out a little bit. So expenses. So what about your insurance? How is that paid?
It's a 6-month premium. We pay it monthly. It comes out to be like $12 a month. Like that.
Perfect. Okay, so gotta always remember that. Utilities is a is one that's kind of hard to budget for, but I'm sure you kind of know how much you are paying right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you budget out for that?
Say $80 a month probably for utilities.
We'll bump it up to 100.
Okay.
Just because you never really know, it's getting colder, and it's always nice to have a little extra room there. And then you've got your phone, probably.
And I believe the plan we're on now, it's $145 a month.
Perfect. And then you've also, with your utilities, you've also got electric, right?
Mm-hmm.
Electric is the other one.
And I think that was probably in the
like
$80 to $100 range
we'll do 100 again, just to be sure. And then we've got internet and cable.
I believe internet is $40 a month. Cable is about the same, actually, I think.
Perfect. And then a good way to maybe reduce that as well is if there's any other companies that have a lower rate.
Yep.
You can always kind of fiddle around with that, and that might help you as well. And then there's the variables. You've got your food, a monthly budget of food.
$300 probably.
Okay. And then gas.
Per month, probably $150.
Alrighty. And I think that's probably the expenses that you have, right? Because your medical is all covered by Medicare. Not Medicare.
By
TRICARE. Sorry. Perfect. So then we'll go through. So how much do you make a month, roughly?
$3,000 roughly.
And then with this, as we're making it, you know what we're doing. So then when you have exact amounts, you know the exact amount. You can put that in there, and then you can kind of go through with that. So that's monthly?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we add up your expenses a month, 5 plus 30. And then, I'm not sure if you would know, but when you start having student loans, do you about know how much you're going to pay?
I don't. I have no idea. I haven't looked at it yet.
Okay, sounds good. So, your monthly expenses kind of turn out to be about $2,312. So, after you subtract that from your amount you make a month, you have roughly $688, which is actually a pretty good amount. So we should probably stick some of that in your, you know what we didn't put? We didn't put your credit card. How much was your payment there?
Minimum payment's like $30. I'd like it to be closer to $100 probably.
Definitely. So if we take out
$588.
Yeah, if you take out 100, then that one can be paid off sooner, and then that $100 can go into your truck payment.
Yep.
So that would be a really good thing. And then once your truck payment's done, you will have to start paying your student loans as well.
Yep.
But in your case, which is pretty awesome, is you will get a pay raise. So you're going to still have that amount of money or more in your savings. So if you also budget out a little bit for extra expenses, even though we're trying to eliminate most of them, you should, at the minimum, put in your savings about $200. So if you have $200 within 12 months, so a year, I'm not going to do this in my head, even though I really can. you will have an extra $2,400 in your bank account.
Okay.
Which, for a college student, that's a pretty good start. And then once you are making more money, that extra little bit that you have will come in there. And then if you want to, seeing that you'll have extra money, you can put that towards your bills instead of your savings and keep just adding this little savings. It's kind of your choice if you want to get rid of your credit cards and truck payments, or if you want to kind of save that money for a little shield. So before we go, there were a couple other little things that I had for you, just for your own benefit. Because you're active duty military, there are a few things that you should know. There's really some cool things that are here for you. So I had found this in my book, and it said that the interest rate reduction for military members on active duty. So basically, while you are in active duty military, the interest rate on credit card debts that you incurred on your own or jointly with your spouse before you entered active duty must be reduced to 6%.
Okay.
This limit also includes any fees and other charges. So you can go to, basically you send a letter to, this information here in this book that I can give you.
Okay.
And they will reduce your interest rates, which is a pretty awesome thing because I'm not sure if you know what your credit card interest rate is.
Off the top of my head.
But they end up becoming pretty substantial because they can raise them and do some pretty crazy things. So that would be something maybe to look into, and it will help you. Let's see if there's anything else. I marked a couple other things. I marked the ways to reduce your utility bill. So are you on monthly?
Yes.
Okay, so that wouldn't work for you. You can reduce the amount you are charged for the utility service you use, or you can obtain assistance in paying your bills. And I don't think you probably qualify for that because you can pay your bill, but there are ways. If you just contact them, they can definitely help you out. Oh, and the other thing, so I wanted to talk to you about your student loans. You have the choice in keeping your student loans the way they are. I'm guessing you might have a couple different ones, a few different ones for the government, right? So what you can do is you can put all of those together. So you can consolidate them. And what this does, it helps you make one big payment and send it off. You don't have to worry about a bunch of little ones. So if you have 5 or 6, I don't know how many you have, you can put them all together and it'll be one fixed interest rate and one payment. The only downside to this is you might have a higher interest rate altogether because you're consolidating them, and some might be lower, some might be higher, and your payment in the long run might be longer. So you kind of have to outweigh the benefits, what's going to be easiest for you. So that's always a good one to kind of check out. And then the other thing is, are you happy with your credit cards that you have now?
Yes.
Are they giving you the most back? Or are you planning on thinking, well, maybe I should?
Maybe down the line, once I get this one down to a manageable level, I may get some kind of rewards card of some kind.
Okay. So there are ways to go through. I have an awesome thing on the internet that you can go through and see what card will be most beneficial to you.
Okay.
Just make sure that you can pay that minimum or pay the amount that's on it off each month. Okay. That will help you the most, and then you won't come back to this having debt and having to return it. So I think that would be great, and then you can kind of pick out which one's best for you. I wouldn't have too many credit cards because then you can be at risk to be in trouble of having more. But that, if you find one that's good for you, you can definitely use it.
Okay.
All right, so I think that's it. Do you have any more questions for me?
No, feel pretty good.
All right, so we'll give you your budget and we'll send you on your way. And if you have any other questions, you can contact me.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Yep.